Hello, Mark. It's good to see you again for yet another episode of this of our wonderful podcast. Thank you for joining us. Um,
Oh, thank you.
in this particular episode, we're going to talk about where is it now? You on January 29th, you assisted a young mother who had been sexually exploited and financially trapped um, in abuse. Despite her exploitation, was denied income support, making it harder for her to escape. You helped connect her with CEASE, I think is how you say that acronym,
Yeah, yeah.
for further assistance. And I'll just quote your what you said here. Uh, Helping a young mom who's been sexually exploited. The pimp runs his money through her bank account as well as others he exploits. She can't get off this cycle as income support ignores this abuse and states it states it as income. They classify it as income because the money's going into her account. They don't care where from. Uh, doesn't and she doesn't qualify for the income support as a result. In my opinion, as you say, I don't want to get political really here, but uh, Minister Jason Nixon and the Alberta government enables this type of abuse and allows this pimp to keep doing what he does. The smart solution is for income support to forgive this income in air quotes. I'll use that. Start fresh. Provide this lady some financial support. I will add that she desperately needs. Thus weakening her bond to this pimp. You helped her contact CEASE, an organization that helps those who are sexually exploited, for enhanced supports. Um, any thoughts on that initially?
Yeah. So with the advent, with the increase of technology and how money is becoming less paperless and more electronic, um, you're leaving electronic, you're leaving a footprint, electronic footprint. So when people take or use their debit cards or do e-transfers, that in itself makes a very clear record of your income and your debts and things like that through the bank, used through your bank statements. And income support, to get income support, you have to sign a release that income support has the right to look at your bank account. Well, they do. And they do it with a lot of aggression. And
And seemingly lack of nuance, but yes.
yeah, so when they see $200, $250, $80, 120, these chunks of money come in, they 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 have they consider that, at least in my experience, without exception, income. They don't take into a fact that um, it could be the pimp is just laundering the money through someone's account. In fact, that the person that they're looking at who has this bank statement with all these credits, it isn't that person's money really. Um, and if it is that person's money, and because they've been sexually exploited, it shouldn't be a disqualifier for opening a file.
Yet it is.
And it is. And we're doing a great disservice to vulnerable women and men who are exploited. And we're doing a great service to pimps and Johns and others that take advantage of this situation. So so now that the truth's out, where it used to be under cash under the table and it was a lot more harder for the government to figure things out, now that they have this clarity through electronic footprints, they need to adjust and recalibrate so everything isn't so black and white.
Mm.
And that's what they're doing. So what's happening is, because they're denying this woman income support, her pimp may be throwing her into a cell, but they're locking the door. And they're not giving that woman, in this case, any opportunity to escape that cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody with any reasonable intelligence that has any familiarity with people that have been sexually exploited or government, knowing how the lay of the land really is, like a frontline social worker or a frontline support worker, understands that what's going on. But this government, in my opinion, is choosing to ignore these factors, and they're cutting and refusing services to our most vulnerable population, who's at the greatest risk to being harmed than any other demographic.
Yeah, they definitely lack nuance. As I say, I've been income support at times myself, and any money, they don't give a damn about the source. In my experience, and I've heard that from others. So, without that nuance, without knowing how the situation, the kind of situation you describe, um, that puts her in a dangerous situation. Kind of going forward, which leads to my next question: what immediate and long-term and long-term solutions could help people in her situation, or something like it, regain the independence and, I guess, get out of that cycle of abuse?
Yeah. A reboot.
Sure.
You need to ignore the past, ignore the history, and
Income support does?
yeah, income support does. The education system, the healthcare system, they need to put those prejudices aside. The justice system push those prejudices aside and have a reboot. And they should provide people with every opportunity and every encourage people to put them out of harm's way by providing a damage deposit, a rent, month's supply of groceries, access to health care, and then particularly focus on mental health, and work with these people,
Yeah.
as opposed to ignoring them.
Yeah, and I would argue, and I've even been asked during those times where pay stubs, right? If the money doesn't reflect the pay stub, it shouldn't be counted because it's not legitimate. It's not legitimate income, to my understanding.
Yeah,
Yeah. If it's money transferred between, in some other fashion. I mean, I hate to use the word.
doesn't.
I know you don't. I know you refuse to use the word should with your clients, even though we've used it here. Yeah,
You're not my client, Kevin.
I know that. But I'm clarifying that.
You should know that by now.
I realize that. Yes, no, but you have said, and there's video evidence, my friend, of you never used the word should with clients.
No. And so I've sent some snarky emails to government asking them to get some common sense, to get some humanity, to get some compassion, and change this, what they're doing into, and, yeah, it's
Any hope for that? Any promise of that?
no, not right
Oh.
now, because we have a government. They think, they're under the assumption when they see an influx of money in the account that someone's willfully, taking advantage of Albertans taxpayers' money and greedily, scheming and involved in underworld crime. And when you're dealing with a
Way to blame the victim. My God.
23-year-old, let's say a 23-year-old Indigenous woman, First Nations woman, who has no skills, who is in a situation where she had no means to make that sort of money, except through being sexually exploited. It should be a no-brainer, really, but it isn't.
Yeah. All right. Two more, hopefully quickly on this story. This person that you're helping. Where are things Where are things at now with her? Any update? Is she doing okay?
No, no, she's not. She's 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 still turning tricks
Okay.
because she has a child and because she's unable to obtain financial supports
Okay.
any other way.
Okay. How has working with organizations like CEASE, who I've honestly never heard of before, impacted outcomes for victims of exploitation?
Oh, they're so critical, Kevin. Agencies like CEASE, and I forget, it's an acronym for, um,
I'll link to them, but I just forgot.
yeah, I forget the acronym, but they work with people that are sexually exploited or at risk of being sexually exploited. And agencies and community groups and support programs have much more of a stronger impact of getting convictions, of getting people off that cycle of being abused than any police officer would. And again, this is where we seem to get it wrong. We invest when, I'm not defunding the police here. I might be a little woke, but I'm not completely woke. So I know we need a strong, vibrant robust police force. But when people, we need to invest in more policing. No, we don't. We need to invest in more social programming. We need to invest in more supports because these are the people and these are the organizations and these are the systems that get people and that keep people safe, that fight crime and are able to put a stop to, um, I shouldn't say put a stop, but they're able to help our communities remain a lot safer.
Yeah, fantastic. Shout out to CEASE for sure, and what they do for our communities. Are they just in Edmonton? I'll look them up. I should have done that research.
Yes, they are. And they've been around for 25 years, I think. Right.
Okay. All right. That'll do it for this particular episode of this podcast, and this roughly 15, 20 minutes. That's what we aim for anyway. Really want to thank you, Mark, for taking the time to join us and again kind of explain in detail and as to the situation that we described and your insights regarding that, so we can all know a little more and push for change. Thanks,
Kevin.
Thanks for everybody for watching and listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Okay. How about we do 2 more?
Sure.
Okay. Which one do I've got 2 options, one or the other. Grandmother called at 2 a.m. on January 26th, and you helped deliver essentials during a late night pharmacy run, and you took a lot of pride in that, obviously. On the 27th, you met with a woman who has been a victim of domestic violence. Her ex has a child, had her child, and he spoke about options with her, such as a parenting order, protection order, and so forth. And you said you'll be meeting with her again later that week. So I'd be curious of an update on that. Which one do you want to tackle first?
Let's do the second one, the later one.
Okay, so the mother, the victim of domestic violence.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get started here.
I was just going to ask, like when we do it, do you ever post the tweet itself onto the?
I'm quoting it.
Yeah.
You want to link to it, or I can't embed it.
No, I'm just mean like in the YouTube, you flash to the tweet or something. But
more work.
I don't know how much. Well, forget it.
I mean, it's I'll tell you what, I'll do that going forward. Because as I collect these, it's easy. I can hold on to the links and include those. But for this particular episode 6, as I called it,
Sure.
I didn't include those links. So I'd have to go hunting for all that again. But in the process going forward, I can certainly honor that request.
Sure. Just to dismiss it is.
No, it's good. It's something with having it on the screen that people can kind of read along or find very easily on their own, because You didn't say it, but it's true. It's quite true. Or social media, we all know it, where things get buried pretty quick and things are hard to find. So, good point. All right. Hello, Mark. It's good to see you again, and chat with you and get your insights and all of your opinions, but also to gain from your experience in terms of again how we can all push for change as a result of hearing these stories of the people that you help, the vulnerable people that you help. So thank you for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me, Kevin.
On January 27th, and just so everybody knows, we kind of aim for the 15 to 20 minute length here, but we'll see how things go. On January 27th, 2025, obviously, um, you posted, you met with a woman who has been a victim of domestic violence. Her ex has her child, and we spoke about the options available to her, such as a parenting order, a protection order, and reporting suspected child abuse to Children's Services. I'll be meeting with her again later that week. Um, any initial thoughts on that, and then I'll get to the questions.
Well, domestic violence is what we sometimes have blinders on when we think that domestic violence is either physical or sexual, which it is, can be. But there's also that emotional and controlling aspect of abuse. And in this case, that high and center on the issue. And so this man was controlling this woman uh, and making her life all hell because she had he had their child. And it wasn't just a custody dispute. It wasn't, over anything like that. He was taunting her, putting her down many times in front of the child, and verbally abusive towards her, and making her feel isolated and hopeless without any sort of recourse. He was preying off her ignorance and her vulnerability. But, luckily she reached out to me because there are some really good options available to anybody that's involved in domestic violence, whether you're female or male, it doesn't matter. Same goes with elder abuse, whatever. And when it's dealing with children, first of all, you can get a protection order, or if it's an emergency protection order, where the courts order a person not to have any contact with you or your children if you want. And there's free duty counsel in Calgary and Edmonton to assist you with that. You just have to show up at court, and you will be saved. There is also parenting orders. So if biological parents cannot agree on custody and visitation, then you can get a parenting order, which is a sort of like a contract that's both parties have to adhere to and can be police enforceable. So if your parenting order is that you get your child every second weekend, but your ex, who's taking advantage of you because you're vulnerable, refuses to take your son home to you, it's not just a piece of paper. You just have to phone the police and say, I have a parenting order. It's police enforceable, and this guy is not bringing back my child. So this was a case where this lady had no recourse, or didn't think she had any recourse, when in fact she had many. And that involved a protection order, that involved a parenting order, and those can all be helped, and those are all facilitated. Your walk through them. It's not you're left alone to figure all this yourself, but you're walked through the process and given that support to actually file those orders, to serve those orders, and to ensure that you have the right to be with your loved ones, your child.
Okay. Thank you for explaining the difference between the parenting order and the protection order and how that can be enforced. I appreciate that. All right. A few follow-up questions. Um, I guess before she contacted you, or even the process of that you just walked us through of how you helped her or informed her. How did this woman describe the challenges of experiencing that process herself? Did you, what was her reaction to this?
Well, so there was pre orders, pre parenting order, pre protection order. She felt overwhelmed, helpless. She felt that nobody was listening and that she had no recourse. After we completed those processes, she felt empowered. She felt that reinforced that she has rights, that she's the biological mother, and that she's the primary caregiver, and she has every right in every aspect of her child's life, including medical decisions, education, culture, etc. And again, we have a great safety net woven in to into our community. You just need to know how to access it. And unfortunately, calling 211 isn't enough because they just give you phone numbers and don't nothing else. But if you're able to connect with a person that's a doer, then don't feel ashamed, don't feel worried. You know, go through those steps. The outcome will be well worth it.
Okay, awesome. Any progress or any update on that situation or how things are going?
Yeah, she got a parenting order, she got a protection order, and she has control over all the major decisions over her child, and it is her being the primary caregiver. Um, the vast majority of time, the child is with her, not with a biological father who could care less really about the child in this case, where it was more using the child as a control to continue his horrific abuse towards her.
All right. Again, really appreciate your insights and the update on that story and that situation. Thank you for sharing that with us, Mark. Thank you everybody thank you everybody for watching and listening to this episode of the Mark Cherington podcast. Until we come up with a better name, I don't know. And we aim for about 20 minutes, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's about more telling the complete story as best we can, and not rushing it either to give justice to the people who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it there. Once again, thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. So please join us for that.